You're over 60, and you'd probably picture inflammation as a swollen ankle or a sore throat. But the kind actually linked to your cancer risk causes neither, and it's been sitting in your body undetected for years. This isn't rare. It's happening inside people exactly like you, right now, without a single symptom. No swelling, no pain, no fever, just a slow, low-level process running in the background of your body, day after day, year after year. It shows up as a handful of numbers in routine blood work. Numbers most people have never had explained to them, because there's nothing to feel. And by the time most people hear the word inflammation from a doctor, they assume it means something acute, a sprained ankle, a sore throat. They don't realize there's a second, quieter kind, one that doesn't announce itself at all. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what the science currently supports about that quieter kind. Just as important, I'll show you what it doesn't yet prove. That way, you can act on real evidence instead of tidy headlines. My name is Dr. Liam Green, and this channel exists for one reason: to help people over 60 understand what the research actually says, in plain language without smoothing over the messy parts. Today, I'm walking you through 3 factors connected to this slow-burning inflammation and cancer risk after 60. Stay with me through all 3, because number 1 already has some of the strongest evidence behind it of anything in this video. And number 3, the last one, is where most health content quietly gets it wrong. Before we get into the 3 factors, I need to give you one concept, because without it, nothing else will fully make sense. I call it the slow drip. Picture a burst pipe. Water everywhere, impossible to miss, and someone fixes it fast. That's acute inflammation, your body's normal, healthy response to a cut or an infection. It flares, it does its job, it settles down. Now picture a different problem. A tap that's never fully closed. No flood, no emergency. Just a quiet drip, day and night, for years. You wouldn't notice it from across the room. But leave it running long enough, and it wears away at things underneath. Quietly, one drop at a time. After 60, many people's bodies shift toward that second state. Researchers call it inflammaging. It's a low, steady drip of inflammation that comes with aging itself. It's been linked to a longer list of conditions than most people realize, cancer included. Keep the slow drip in mind as we go through each factor. The honest question isn't just does inflammation matter, it's how much does tightening that tap actually change your risk. Let's start with the factor the data backs most consistently: daily movement. The American Cancer Society lists physical inactivity among the most significant modifiable cancer risk factors. A 2016 review cited by the National Cancer Institute, drawing on 38 cohort studies, found that the most physically active women had 12 to 21% lower breast cancer risk than the least active. A separate analysis of 126 studies found up to 19% lower colon cancer risk at the highest activity levels. You don't need marathon training to see this. Much of the benefit shows up at modest, sustainable levels. A brisk 30-minute walk most days is enough to matter, according to these same bodies of research. What to do instead? Move most days, not occasionally. Consistency, not intensity, is what the data actually rewards. Quick question before we get to the next factor: is daily movement already part of your routine, or is this the one you keep meaning to start? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone, and it tells me what to cover more of on this channel. Factor number 2, what's on your plate? Let me tell you about Patricia. 63, recently retired, meticulous about her health after losing her sister to cancer 5 years earlier. She switched to what she'd read about online. Heavy on lean meat, light on unnecessary fats, cutting olive oil because she thought all fat was the problem. Here's the problem. That instinct, strip out fat entirely, sounds responsible, but it can work against you. Several of the compounds that help tighten the slow drip live specifically in the fats she was avoiding. A 2014 meta-analysis in the International Journal of Cancer pooling over 1.3 million people across 21 cohort studies, found that high adherence to a Mediterranean-style diet was linked to about a 10% lower risk of overall cancer incidence and mortality, and roughly 14% lower colorectal cancer risk specifically. That's the overall pattern talking, not one single nutrient. The part most videos leave out, that same analysis found no significant link for breast cancer. The protective pattern isn't universal. It doesn't cover every cancer type. And pretending otherwise makes the story too clean, too neat. What to do instead? Build meals around vegetables, legumes, whole grains, fish, and unrefined olive oil. Not because any single food is magic, but because the overall pattern has the most consistent, if uneven, support. Factor number 3, sleep. And this is the one I want to be most careful with because it's the one most commonly overstated. Yes, poor sleep is mechanistically linked to inflammation and weaker immune surveillance. But when it comes to sleep duration and actual cancer risk, the picture is genuinely mixed. A meta-analysis in PLOS 1, combining data from over 555,000 people across 10 prospective studies, found no significant overall link between either short or long sleep duration and cancer risk. Though long sleep duration was tied to a higher risk of colorectal cancer in a subgroup analysis. That's not a reason to ignore sleep. It's a reason not to oversell it. Protect 7 to 8 hours as a general health habit. It has strong evidence for your heart, brain, and mood. Just don't treat it as a guaranteed cancer prevention lever, because the research doesn't support that claim yet. I promised you something you can use, so here it is. 3 questions. Not a rule book. Question 1. Did I move my body today, even moderately? This tells you whether you're working with the factor that has the clearest numbers behind it. Question 2. Does my plate lean toward Mediterranean, most days, most meals? This tells you whether you're working with the strongest and most consistent evidence available. Question 3. Am I protecting my sleep for its many real benefits without treating it as a cancer cure? This tells you whether you're using honest expectations instead of borrowed hope. None of these 3 questions needs a supplement, a prescription, or a dramatic life overhaul. They just need you paying attention to patterns, instead of chasing one miracle habit. Here's what I want you to leave with. The slow drip is real, and it does open up with age. But the honest version of this story isn't do these 3 things and cancer won't touch you. It's quieter than that and more respectful of you. These 3 factors meaningfully shift the odds. They move in directions the research actually supports, just at different strengths of evidence. That's not as satisfying as a clean promise. It's more useful than one.